5, 4, 3, 2, showtime.
Dos, tres, cuatro.
Hey everybody, Wesley here.
Hi there, it's Kathy.
Oh my gosh, so we've had kind of an interesting weekend and stuff. Again, thank you guys for all your comments and your posts and stuff and suggestions for shows. But we were doing a show
In Boston.
Tell them what
It
happened.
was a great show. Met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. And I was coming back from the restroom, and this is getting towards the end of the show on Sunday. And a man just breezed by me, and then he turned around and he said, he said, I didn't see you in there. He goes, I would have given you a check. I'd have written you out a check for your favorite charity. And I said, wait, we want one of those, And he said, well, gosh, I'm getting ready to leave. And he said, you know what, come on, let's go back and do that. And so he comes back to our table, and I said, Wesley, because Wesley does a lot of charity work here in Palm Springs. And I said, what's a good charity? What this man's willing to cut us a check for $1,000. And Wesley was like, oh, I haven't done it in a while. I can't think of
Because
one.
normally we raise money. I have 7 charities I raise money for in Palm
And I
Springs.
said, well, what about for the dogs and the cats? What about that?
Palm Springs Animal Shelter.
Yeah.
He said. He goes,
Yeah.
perfect.
So he wrote us out a check for $1,000, and last week we were able to deliver it to the shelter.
So this guy, it was
Crazy, weird stuff like that happens.
He's a part of a family foundation, and he went around, I think, to most every celebrity table. He went to Johnny Whitaker's table and gave Johnny $1,000 for his foundation, and was going to celebrity and giving him $1,000. And go, why? I said, why? He said, because if I don't give it away, I have to pay taxes.
No, but he said that he inherited millions and millions of dollars from his family with the stipulation that he had to give it all away to charity. So he was just a man on a mission, giving money away.
It was wonderful. I mean, I did some research on it.
Fun thing to be able to do.
And they just given like $53 million to some big organization in Boston. I mean, so thank you and for that. And the Palm Springs Animal Shelter was thrilled. So that was so much fun. But okay, this is a surprise. Today, I was trying to think of what we should talk about, and you know what? You're not going to believe this. She's not going to believe this. I'd like to talk about you.
Really?
Yeah, you.
Coming from you, that's very,
I know,
very
it's
funny.
you.
Because you usually say, okay, enough about you, let's talk about me.
Of course, yeah. Well, you have to remember, Kathy wrote Atlanta Laws. Of course, I got top billing, and the first.
See, enough about me. He's already. This should be a very interesting little podcast here.
But when she wrote her book, Kathy goes, look, my Run Holly Run, which is a fabulous book on Amazon, by the way.
And I was really proud of myself.
Proud.
It was
Oh,
my
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
My moment. No.
Tell her what happened.
It was my moment was so small for such a short period of time, because guess who stole it from me? And Bingo was his name.
No.
Yeah.
So what happened was.
Go ahead. No. This
No.
is your show.
Oh, it's not my show. It's our show. So.
See how he does that? No. It's not my show. It's our show. So, and then he just
All right.
keeps rolling.
You tell him what happened.
No, I show him my book. I'm very proud of it. And he says, very interesting. He said, once again, I made top billing. And of course, his blog, I don't know, all the other blurbs, not blog. His blurb, all the other ones are on the back of my book. But somehow, some way, Wesley's one happens to be above the title of my book. I don't know why they did that, but they did. And he had to, of course, point that out to me and rub it in my nose.
I did. I'm terrible. But okay, enough.
We'll see.
No,
We're just
okay.
going to see how this plays out.
So what I would like to talk about today, if you don't mind,
Okay.
is You were how old when you were on the show?
About 2 weeks shy of 12.
Wow. And Phil was?
10 and a half.
Yeah. So
Or
what
yeah.
was it like, Kathy? I mean, what were you doing before Land of the Lost?
I was with the band, and I had done 2 national tours.
But what band?
Oh, the My Curve congregation.
Okay.
And then on my last job with that band was actually, I had already started work on Land of the Lost, but I hadn't let go of Mike Curb yet. And we had one more show at Magic Mountain, which is the Six Flags park here. And there I am in California. And it was with Mark Spitz.
I was
And-
there in the audience. I was there. Mark Spitz just won 7 gold medals as a swimmer in the Olympics.
Yes. And here he is, this like, famous athlete and everything. And in the dance routine that we had, all the men grabbed the women and put them up on their shoulders. Well, they were grabbing adult women and putting them on their shoulders. Mark Spitz, I was the one who had to put on his shoulder, and he could not lift. That was really embarrassing.
It was a strange night, too. That was an interesting performance.
But I got in, like, at the beginning of trying to negotiate that, I got into some trouble because I was working too many hours in the day. So how they did it was they put me in my costume in the audience, and I became an audience participant. And that's how they snuck me on the stage. But then there was a part in the show where we did the dancing and singing and all of that, and then Mark Spitz and I come and sit on the edge of the stage, and I tell him like a joke, and we just like,
Wow. Do you remember the joke?
I can't tell.
Were you on Land of the Lost then?
Yeah, that's
Did
what
I-
I'm saying. I couldn't.
So I was there, but did we talk?
You would have probably come with my entourage.
No, I was
No, of
actually.
course not.
I wasn't.
No?
I know. No, it was all set up from another source.
Oh,
It was.
I don't
It
know.
was. Well, I had been recording with.
Okay. I was just wondering how long it was gonna last. And there it is. And there.
Anyway,
it is.
enough of that. So what happened? So before Land of the Lost, what about TV and stuff? What kind of work did you do?
Before Land of the Lost, commercials mostly.
Oh, look at that! Look at
That's
that!
my
face.
very first one. That was for Shakey's Pizza, and I was Goldilocks in that. And I had been auditioning. I went on 100 interviews before I got that. And that's what my mother sent me on every interview. My mom was from Australia.
Right.
And she thought, if you go to Hollywood, they're looking for the next Shirley Temple. So she sent me out on every interview. And this was for like Skippy peanut butter, and bubble gum commercials and, Coca-Cola and stuff. They wanted the kid next door. They did not want Shirley Temple. So I would be in party dresses and patent leather shoes and, and those curls.
Oh my God!
And they're like, cute, but not what we're looking for. Until they were looking for Goldilocks.
Wow.
They like hit gold when I walked through the door. They were like, oh my God, it's her, And then my agent told my mother, look, you lucked out on that one, but this has got to go. All of this, party dresses, curly hair and everything. So my mom started straightening out my hair, blue jeans, sweatshirts, sending me out on jobs, and I started landing commercial after commercial after commercial. I did like 30 some odd commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That- you were so amazing as a kid, and
And I did theater. That was my
but
my
one of the
early
things
job.
about that commercial, the Shakey's commercial, is that a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what happened a few years ago.
Oh, I just got this random phone call. It's a very funny thing. Back in the day, I used to think, well, I'm not going to change my phone number. I'm not going to change it because what if somebody wants to get a hold of me?
Yep.
In Hollywood, if somebody wants you, they will find you. And I don't care. You could change your number. You could change your hair color. You could change your city. They will, if they want you, they have an amazing way of finding you. And the Shakey's thing is perfect proof of that because they called me one day and said, this is Shakey's corporate. And we had a contest and they ran all the commercials back in the, over the stretch of time,
Right.
from when I did mine to today's.
Right.
And your one won. And we're doing a retro. We decided we're going to do a retro version of Shakey's that showed the retro commercial. And so my one won. And they paid me. They ran it. It ran all over California. Like it was just like popping up like one of those obnoxious commercials that plays all the time.
Right.
They just flooded the market with it. All my friends saw it. All, a bunch of fans saw it. And then, and so that was fun. And then did it again the following year.
Wow.
I was like, this is
I remember
a
the
miracle.
commercials with the three bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And the actor from WKRP, he played the Shakey's man. What's his name?
He played. Was it?
I'll
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
He was the on-air person, right? Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, but also, oh, look how cute you are. Look at so okay. That's a look that you, from what I understand.
That's not my favorite picture of Holly.
But the look, I'm talking about the pigtails and stuff.
Yeah.
Tell them about your audition for Land of the Lost.
Well, it's funny because I almost dressed just like that when I went in, and then.
I mean, you had pigtails?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom dressed me almost identical to that, and then when I went shopping with the wardrobe lady, they sort of just went in that direction. Wow. But I actually, like Sean Kenny, who was my photographer my whole childhood. He was on Star Trek.
Captain Kirk?
Played No.
Pike. Captain. He was the captain.
And he photographed me throughout the years, and he took a picture of me, and it's so funny. I'm like, not that one. That was on the set with my doll. In the episode that's your favorite.
Yes,
Circle.
and you still have that doll, by the way, don't
Yes.
you? Yeah, your sister has it, Maureen.
Oh, that's the picture that I like better than that other one that you showed, because that one has got mischief in those eyes.
Well, I had to find. I didn't tell you what I was going to do today, so I went out and sort of looked for pictures. So I hope I picked okay pictures.
But did you pick the one where it's like Sean took it, and I'm wearing almost the exact same outfit I have on in Land of the Lost? It's a black and white photo. And so this was that one.
That's it.
That's way before. I'm only like 9 years old there.
Wow.
And that's almost exactly like my outfit.
And that's before Land of the Lost?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like 9.
Oh my gosh. Kathy, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I might have gone on the interview looking like that.
Wow. And before Land of the Lost, you and Phil Paley, who played Chaka, worked together.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Jesus.
But look.
There we are.
Look.
Those are our dressing room signs.
Those are the back of the chairs. Or was that the dressing room?
No, I think those are our like director's chairs, aren't they?
The director's chairs, or no? That was probably anyway.
Or no, do you know what they're like? Crates, those boxes, those boxes that we use with the little handles.
Yes. For props and things like that.
Yeah.
But so go back. So, because I don't know what the rules are about airing commercials on that we don't own the rights to and stuff. Because I've seen, if you go on YouTube, you can see the Cheez-Its commercial with Kathy Coleman and Philip Paley,
and the Shakey's one.
And the Shakey's one, both of them, and they're fabulous. But you play brother and sister, right? How old was Phil? Phil was
maybe 6, and maybe I was 8.
Wow. So tell us about that commercial. What was that like?
It was on Alan Ladd's property.
Right.
It was a big ranch, and we were in one of those Volkswagen things.
That big square kind of looking Volkswagen.
And Phil and I were in the back seat, and then we had these parents that they cast for us, and it was a riot because the father was a real character, and he was saying some of the funniest things. He says, "If I have to eat another one of these cheeses," as he's smiling and singing the song, he'd say, "If I have to eat another one of these things," then we just start laughing. The mother was very funny, and
so you guys were in the back seat as the kids, and the parents were driving the car.
And that used to, when I used to do commercials, and I had like parents, on the set, the ones that I just loved were the ones that would get us like play with us. Like
Oh my
that,
God.
You know,
I
those
love
are
it.
so much fun.
But what, at the conventions, I make Kathy and Phil sing the song, the Cheez-It song, and I don't look at me like that. But it's okay.
No.
See, ready? I'll do Phil's part. I don't do it like Phil as well. And I think we can get away with the rights. I don't know, but it's
It's
go
just
ahead.
a song that we like from television.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. I like munching.
I like crunching.
We like eating Cheez-Its. Great cheese taste in every bite.
We like eating Cheez-Its.
Oh, I like munching.
I like crunching.
We like eating Cheez-Its. I love the wild taste of cheese.
Hey, more Cheez-Its, please.
They're great crunching crackers.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
You know, we do this thing when we sit at the table. Somebody will come up and say, I had the biggest crush on you. So the nickel gets slid to Wesley. Then they'll come up and say, you know what? When I was growing up, I had the biggest crush on you. So the nickel comes
Yeah.
back. I think the Cheez-It song should be like $5.
I love. So listen, so you're a kid actor. You're on a hit TV show. You must have been very popular at school.
No. Well, everybody knew who I was,
Right.
but not
No?
popular. Not popular in the sense like you might think,
Right.
because I did not go to a school that had other actor kids in it. Like if I'd have stayed in the Hollywood area and went to school, I'd have just been one of the many child actors at that
Right.
school. But because my mom and I had that deal that if I ever got a series that she'd buy me a pony, I had to live out of the city limits in a place that was zoned
I
for
found a
horses.
picture of you in Comanche.
Yeah, there he is. That's he was the love of my life. I loved that little guy so much. We had so many adventures together.
So what did
Uh,
and you actually got them to write in Comanche, and you mentioned him in one of the
I
episodes.
mentioned him. I couldn't never stop talking
Oh
about
my
him. So
God.
it was like they were forced to like almost write about him.
We were standing, we had a chroma key set at the Blue and stuff. So Kathy, at the time, I was taller than Kathy. Not so much anymore. But we'd be standing there, of course, we're waiting for the shot to be set up, and she'd just be, I got this horse. And
The cameramen would listen to me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they
yeah.
would-
And then I'd lean down and she'd lick my nose. Lick my nose.
Not like in a gross way.
No,
It was a game that we used to play as kids, and you'd stare at somebody or catch them by surprise, and you just go, "Hey, I got it!"
Ah!
And then you go like that.
You did it again. Did I tell you I got top billing on your book?
Now though, you got to really be careful because
COVID.
you could bang your teeth out.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, that was a little game that we played, and so I used to get him every time he'd fall for it. Every time you think by round 10, if I looked at him, he'd be like this.
Yeah. It was wonderful being with Kathy.
My sister
Oh,
Colleen has that
look,
on a video.
speaking of which, she took this photo.
Yeah,
And who is that?
John Lambert.
One of the Sleestack, the originals. That was, you called him handsome,
Oh,
Sleestack.
he was very handsome
They were so tall, those guys.
and young. I think he's maybe like 19, 20.
Well, he's in college. They were college basketball players.
Yeah.
Bill Laimbeer, the Detroit Pistons, they all played Sleestack, and they were making a few extra bucks for college and stuff like that. So, and they've become really kind of loving friends. Look at that.
I
tell us
like
about
that
this picture.
photo. That's at the American Music Awards.
And who were you with?
Very, not very.
Andy Gibb. She was Andy
I was
Gibb,
gonna
right?
say very good.
No, but your career, you had an interesting career, and then right after the show, what happened after Land of the Lost?
Oh, it was all okay for about a month, and then I started missing work.
Yeah.
And then I started going on interviews and everything, and I wasn't getting any work because they could get somebody that was 18 that
Right.
looked 16 or 15, and
Because if you're 18, you didn't have to have a school and didn't have to have all the rules.
welfare
You could
workers,
work
you
certain
weren't
hours.
limited
things like
to the hours that you could work and all of that. So it was a real struggle for me for a while. And then at 17, I went on an interview for Burger King commercial, and they were taking us in groups of 4. Well, I wound up being pulled from my group of 4
Right.
with another group that they picked the 3 girls, but not the 4th one, and picked me and put me in.
Wow.
And the other girls were like in their 20s, and I was 17, and I got the job, and I did a whole string of Burger King commercials. We recorded it, went to a recording studio in Hollywood.
Can you imagine that one girl that got replaced by you? She'd been probably bonded with those other 3 girls,
Oh.
and then suddenly she's like, "Oh, go, come here."
Oh, believe you me.
Welcome to Hollywood.
We've all experienced that. I have been on a Peter Pan peanut butter commercial.
Right.
And they normally, when you go on an interview, they send everybody home, and then they call your agent and let you know if you're coming back for the callback. But some of the casting directors just didn't handle it right, and they would go, you stay, and the rest of you can go. And when you're part of the rest of you can go group, it's not very much fun.
No, you did something though, the commercial. You told me once, you kind of sneaky to get an extra close up or line.
Well, keep in mind, no, it wasn't.
Thinking about me trying to upstage her. No, listen to this.
Well, no, because like I told you, my agent told me I had to lie and say that I was 12 on the audition for Land of the Lost. When I did a Kool-Aid commercial, my agent had told my mom, make sure she is holding the jug with the Kool-Aid man on it.
Right.
Make sure she's holding that in the commercial, because that is where the camera will go.
Right.
And you want her to have a principal part in the commercial. So with the commercial was at a carnival, and we had these little carnival booths, and I was sitting there with this girl, and we were supposed to be making paper flowers and selling them at our booth. And there was the picture of Kool-Aid, and it was going to be for the one that was sitting on the bar stool.
Right.
The person sitting on the bar stool would be holding that.
Right.
So we did like about 10 rehearsals, and she had been sitting on the bar stool. And then I said, you know what? Look, I want to sit on it now. And you, let's roll tape.
So you stole her picture of Kool-Aid.
I stole the seat.
The seat?
Yeah. Well, she had been sitting in it the whole time.
Was
And
she
then
did she realize what you had done at the end?
Probably not.
Oh my gosh. And how did the commercial go?
It was fine. But see, I didn't care if I held the picture or not,
Right.
or the bar stool or anything like that. The only thing I cared about was that my agent would be happy, which would make my mom happy, which would mean I would be happy.
Wow.
It was that chain of events that had to take place, or else maybe I didn't, have such a nice week.
You've had an interesting life. We could go.
But I started at Gypsy
Okay.
in theater. That was my first role as
Which-
Baby June.
Yeah.
And that is the story of my life. That is my story.
Was your mom like Rose?
In some ways,
Really?
but with a twist.
I
She
had a
wasn't-
dream.
but my mom's dreams were all about for me.
Wow.
Because
Because you were from a family of how many kids?
I'm the youngest of 10.
Whoa.
But it was all for me, and sometimes that was a little suffocating. Like I
And you
wanted
were
to
different.
just-
You were different than the rest of the family too, weren't you?
I had a different father,
Wow.
which I didn't find out reading my book.
Yeah, read the book.
Run, Holly, run. And who cares if his name is above mine? My
Listen,
book, I wrote all
for
those
real,
stories.
For real, the Run Holly Run.
I
book.
lived all those
Yeah, she
stories.
stole my line though. Run, Holly. That was my line. Run, Holly, run. There's a Sleesek, there's a dinosaur, there's a Barcoonie. So she stole it for her book. So I had to get something. I had to get it come up.
I didn't steal anything. I didn't steal.
You borrowed it. Okay.
It was a great name
Wait,
for
what?
my
What?
book.
What?
Because it actually, it was like a double entendre on my life. Like I had been running from, other sleep stacks in my life. So
Do read the book though. I'm telling you, it's quite a read, and I think you're going to be very startled by what Kathy's life was after she left. She became sort of a young adult, and her book won best indie publication biography the year it came out. So it's a really good read, and as Kathy says, put on your big girl pants when you read it. But Kathy, one of the greatest honors has been to have you as my TV and real life sister. And but just one, as we close this up, because we could talk forever, and we'll do this some other time. We'll move on.
And all kidding aside, and I know I roused you and stuff.
That really hurt.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
so sorry.
See, he did it again. Even when I'm trying to give it to you, the light,
I know.
you want like a mega light, right? You have got to quit
Ow,
this.
ow, ow.
I
So,
get
listen, what to closing story?
I'm not
no,
gonna
wait,
say it
wait,
anymore.
no, here.
This is the
here,
Wesley
no,
Show.
no,
Sing the
it's
song
not.
by yourself.
No, here.
Well, sing it. You sing it.
The first year, Kat, the first year we finished the scene, we'd be running.
Oh, and he
Tell
pushed
him.
me in the bushes.
No, I
And then
didn't.
turned around. Oh, yes, you did. He would go, oh, Dad would take off running because Spencer never cared about the camera or close-ups or anything. Like, he'd have cared less. Phil could have cared less. I went running after them. That was what we were told to do. But Wesley, if I turned around to see if he was coming, he'd push me in the bushes and then turn around. So he got the last camera shot. Yeah.
But she caught on.
Yes, I did.
She caught him by the second season. She was
Yeah.
pushing me,
Yeah.
and we were fighting for the last close-up, and it became a game. It wasn't mean-spirited at all. It was well, not for me, but anyway. Listen. I think we better close this thing before she hits me or something like that. But I love you,
I love you.
and your life is multifaceted. And anybody that it is. If you have the joy of being in Kathy Coleman's presence, you will understand the joy that I get from this amazing woman. So thank you, darling.
Thank you.
And we're
I
gonna
adore you, and
Love
you
you.
know that.
we will have more stories and more fill in the blanks later. But so thank you guys for watching. Take care. Bye bye.
He really does love me.